Hello, my green skins. And today we'll be talking about a Canadian show, because Canada Day went by and July 4th went by. Sorry, guys, this took a little longer than I thought. And the show we're going to be talking about, Tropical Heat. Yes, Tropical Heat, the show that Canadians made in the Florida Keys, I believe. Or the California Keys? I don't know American locations. And so the show about a detective, a former DAA agent by the name of Nick Slaughter, and his very, very attractive uh, partner, Sylvie Gennard, played by Caroline Dunn, and their interesting career that they end up having together in the tropical Keys. Oh, the adventure. Oh, the heat and the sexuality. Oh, wow, would this show not get made now? So let's start the breakdown. How are we going to break this bad boy down? Well, let's break this bad boy down with our music. The music for Tropical Heat is actually pretty much what you think it's going to be. Let's be honest. It's, yeah, that's pretty much, tropical music, a detective show in the 90s, which feels a little 80s actually. So it has that, that guitar beat. It's really kind of what you're thinking. If you're not thinking that, then, come on, really? This is completely tropical. Really nothing of major note, and that's the big problem with it. I don't think there was anything in this show that made me go, yeah, it works. Except for one episode. One episode where the guy, Ian Stewart, basically is one of the guys, the bars they like to go to, has a scene in there with the where he plays a rock guitar. That is it. And I'll break down more for that when we hit the story. Unfortunately, that's it for this. Not good, not great, exactly what you think for a series like this. Next, we have the fun that is the acting and basically the scenes and the stunts, because a show like this is going to have a lot of stunts. And Jesus fuck, does this show remind me of something like Chips, or that one with the one with Captain Kirk. Oh, what was the name of that one? Shit, I don't remember that TV show. It's not A-Team good. Like, A-Team had some pretty fun, stunts. It still has its stunts, but man, this one really has problems with its stunts. I wish there was more, but other than some explosions and some like light little things here and there, there's I remember a snake scene from season one that actually kind of made me go, okay, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I will say this. I have noticed something that other shows don't do nowadays really well. Shows nowadays don't know how to shoot women wearing dresses and skirts. This show does. And is actually very good at not getting, which is kind of funny. A show that's actually rather sexual doesn't have that much of the, like, you don't see the skirts rising up on someone. Like, nowadays you see that. Back then they were really good at, making sure that a woman didn't bah. And I mean, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this show is very sexual. There are a lot of scenes in this show where boobies are abound. Boobies are abound. I mean, boobies. Like, we're talking epic here. And they're able to pretty much special effect that shit. like, they're quite good at this. One of my favorite scenes is there's a scene in season 2 where Rob Stewart, Nick Slaughter, goes up to a girl, and she literally is like, undressing in front of him, and he wraps a towel around her. And I mean, that is a perfect shot for shot. There's another scene that they did that's really good, where they get a lot of good back shots of women, where women just take off their tops. And yeah, that is a lot of that. Wow. This show has a lot of sexuality in it. And this is one of the main reasons it won't be talked. We'll be talking more about it in the story. But yeah, it's amusing how much sexuality is in this show and how little they're actually able to show. So that shows good scene work. Nowadays, unfortunately, I've noticed that they don't. It's something about it just seems off. They're just not as good at doing this like they are nowadays. Like nowadays, they're not as good. Like this show is really good at like pushing that boundary but not stepping over it. And I think I spent a little too much more time talking about the sexuality of the show than the actual special effects. The gunplay's okay. It's a little frickin' amusing. Although in some ways it's also realistic. Gunplay for this show has a lot of moments in there where people will get shot and they don't just instantly die. And some people survive it, although then they magically are cured. Like, because a gunshot doesn't guarantee you're going to instantly die, especially a low caliber round. You know, so it has that realism, but at the same time, there's a guy gets shot 3 in the chest. That's a bad day. He's still able to shoot, but then he's walking away like it's nothing. I'm like, no, you're not walking away from that, buddy. Yeah, you're able to get a shot off, I could see. But no, you're not doing that. But this is very 90s, where, you know, it's like, you know what this reminds me of? There's a scene in The Last Action Hero. He gets shot in the gut, and they're having a hell of a time trying to save him. And he, like, they bring him into the movie room. I gotta do live Last Action Hero for one of the Arnold Schwarzeneggers. And they actually kind of like, that's how I feel. That part there where it's like, oh, it's just a flesh wound. The guy got shot 3 times. Like, the squibs went off pretty good, and they look like good shots. And there's even moments that are actually also fun with this, where Nick pretends to get shot, and he pretends, but because the guy's so far away, because he's taking sniper shots, he's pot-shotting on the guy from a distance, he falls over. And that works. And that's actually surprising. So no, this show that is the one thing. This show does have some good scene effects. And they have some good special effects. Pretty good, actually. Next, we have our cast of characters. We have ourselves our Rob Stewart, a.k.a. Nick Slaughter, the private investigator with the heart of gold and former DEA agent. Like the character. I think he did a great job. And you know what? He plays a perfect role and is actually a perfect parallel to Caroline Dunn, Sylvie Gennard. They work together really well. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they weren't doing stuff on the side, because damn, they were really, really, really worked so well together. It's kind of crazy. Next, you have Ian Stewart, aka John David Bland. Now, I know there's the other guy, but I'm going to stick with this guy because he was in the series the most for me. And I like this guy. I think he was a good role. I like the idea of the rock star who turns himself, kind of like becomes a beach bum. And that's exactly what he is. He's this beach bum. He's this guy who's surfing every day. He's a guy who's setting up with all the beautiful ladies, trying to hook up with everybody. He's perfect for what it is. And like I say, both him and Nick Slaughter basically walk around. I think he's the only, he wears a shirt. Nick leaves his shirt open for almost the entire series. Then you got the detectives, the police, the people they have to deal with quite a few occasions. You know, not corrupt, but not really good. Would be the best way to put it. Pedro... Pedro Armor. Oh, I apologize. I don't want to say Pedro. Lieutenant Carlito. I apologize. I really don't want to butcher someone's last name. And yeah, he plays this kind of he plays that no nonsense, I don't got time for this shit, I got to deal with all this garbage type of cop. And at first you think he's a corrupt cop, but it turns out he's just a cop who's just like, oh, fucking private investigators. Oh, fucking too hot. What do you mean we don't have, what do you mean I don't have enough of this? What do you mean I don't have to, that's basically what I got from him. Then you got yourself Eugene Clark, who you may know from George Romero movies and a couple other things. The guy's actually had quite a career after the fact, playing Ollie Porter, who shows up in the very first episode, which we'll have to talk about, and we're going to talk about the story very shortly to kind of do that. And yeah, no, he plays a police officer that comes here to catch his guy. Unfortunately, by catching his guy, he ends up stuck in this precinct. So now he's basically working as the officer thing. He's actually quite a good guy, and I actually enjoyed him in this. And he's a very, very good character. I enjoyed him as like he's one of my more favorite characters there. That's why I remember Ollie Porter. I didn't know what he was from. I kept looking at him, and I'm like, this guy looks fucking familiar. Where have I fucking seen this guy? I had that moment quite a lot with him. And yeah, now I know. Also, quite a huge cast of Canadian people. You got the guy who did Forever Nights in this movie, in the show. In the show, you got Mike Hammer from Red Green Show, later career. I keep seeing Canadian actors popping into this show. And so, yeah, this show definitely is a Canadian show. Last but not least, we have the story. And, well, that's where we're going to have some fun. The reason this show's kind of interesting, I like to jokingly call it a Monster of the Week. And that's basically it. It is a Monster of the Week show. And the Monster of the Week show, for what people don't understand, is they're not doing anything, something's happening, and then the case crosses their path. And then they have to do the case. And it's literally that. It's like, nothing interesting happening, case. But what makes this show really good is the fucking acting is surprisingly good. Like, I did not think I would enjoy the acting as much as I do in this show. And this show has amazing acting. Like, the cast is really well done. And there's a lot of witty moments in there. There's a lot of sexual moments I actually kind of enjoy. They really do that will they, won't they, which is very similar to Lewis and Clark, The Adventures of Superman. And by the way, someone released that show. For the love of fuck, stop putting that in I'm sorry, that's my Superman. Like, everyone says, it's either A, B, or C. No, that's my Superman. Dean Cain, yeah, I want to see that show again. And I did like that show for that, but I do like this show for its acting is surprising. And you do get that between Nick Slaughter and Sylvie Gennard, that they are kind of like a will they, won't they? Are they going to hook up? Are they not going to hook up? Oh, well, are they going to do this? They're going to do that. Again, Ollie is surprisingly fun. Yes, he kind of plays the angry police chief, angry officer. And yeah, that is true. He does play this angry character where he's mad and stuff and he's pissed off. But I liked him in this. I thought he did a good job. I like when he was witty. And every one of them has this almost like this sarcastic wit to them. It makes me wonder how many takes actually happened in this show. And it is basically that. It's like cut to scene. Scene 1, story. Scene 2, they're finding gold. They're finding pirate gold. Oh, wait, they stumbled upon a murder. Scene 1, they found, they're secretly find a secret base that's hidden or something like that, or drugs hiding in the art pictures and all this other stuff. It just kind of like they stumble on a case or they're given a case. and the case turns out to be a lot worse. Oh, I don't know who I am. Oh, wait, now I know who I am. I'm a badass detective. And secretly my partner wants to murder me. Oh, I'm looking into the drug cartel. Oh, wait, no, secretly I'm actually, you know, pretending to be a part of the drug cartel. I'm not actually. And it's just freaking cut the scene, cut the scene, cut the scene. It just goes over and over and over again. These constant moments and moments and moments of like that. But yeah, no, the acting in this is amazing. Like surprisingly well done. I would say this: if the acting was completely awful, there's be no reason to watch this show. But the acting's actually okay, and it has wit to it. Like the special effects, good for what they are, but nowhere near as good as there was out there at the time. So yeah, that's the acting to this one. And that's the story. The story is basically Monster of the Week, and the acting is, well, exactly what I just said, It's moments of wit, some great fun, and it can be a fun show. Can be. Not 100% saying it is. So what am I going to give this show? Unfortunately, to me, this show was good, not great. Like, I would make kind of say, if I'm going to reach for a device, anything above a 6.2 is a no device reach. To this show, I would say I'm looking at a 5.9. Which it's average, but it's just hitting that bar. I'm still reaching for the device, but I'm not bored enough that I'm not going to be like, well, fall asleep watching it. That's kind of how I feel. Is it perfect? No. Is it great? Not really. It could be better. Fuck, that sucks. When you think to yourself, you're going to watch something, you're going to think it's going to be better. No, it's okay. Now, that's the sad thing. I'm gonna have to say I do reach for a device with this one quite a few times. It's been a long time since I've watched this show, and I was happy to see it again. But yeah, I don't know if I don't think I'd spend money on it. If it wasn't on Amazon, I probably would have never watched it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you guys on Orc War Chief Reviews. Like, subscribe. See ya, and happy Canada Day.